Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So in this video, this is something we kind of look back on every 6 months. We're going to have a look at invention machines. Invention machines are quite a massive part of the invention skill, and it's something which can make you considerable amounts of cash without actually having to play the game. Now, when you level up your invention skill, you'll have access to more and more machines and also different levels of generators as well. However, what we're going to focus on more is going to be the higher level stuff. So this is pretty much going to be like 102 upwards. And there's some of these which are going to be very high level, especially the plank maker, which is going to be 117. So in terms of machines, there's going to be a couple different ones. So we're going to have the Alchemizers, we're going to have the high tanners, the partial potion producers, and the high capacity plank makers as well. There is also the auto disassemblers, which are very good. And to be fair, at level 81, you can make the auto disassemble Mark II, which is very consistent in terms of the kind of profit it's going to make, and is kind of going to be your best option, in my opinion, till 102, which is going to be the best option, at least until like 108, until you can do some of the better stuff. But the auto disassembler is one not to ignore, because that is a very, very good thing to do. So what I'm going to do is talk through each one of these machines and what the benefits are and whether I would put it in my setup. So according to the wiki, the best producing invention machine currently is going to be the partial potion producer. Now basically what this does is you just throw in some herbs and also vials of water, and it will make you unfinished potions. Now this really cuts out a part of herb lore which is very annoying, and this is a great omen for and this is a great item for Iron Men as well. But you make money making unfinished potions in the game. It's just nowadays no one really does it because making the actual potion can also be profit as well. So not many people do partial potion producers. Now, these can be the best way to make GP as well on the lead up to double XP because, again, people want unfinished potions. But this can just be a very solid way to put either herbs you've grown yourself, got from PVM drops, or bought on the Grand Exchange if there's decent margins. Now, a really easy way to see if you're going to make some profit is basically just checking what the price is going to be for a herb and the vial of water compared to the unfinished potion price. The wiki has a great tab for this as well to work out. One which always seems to be the best, which is normally on the wiki as well, is going to be the Ranar potion, but I don't know if I quite believe it is going to be as good as what it is. But again, very underestimated method, really, really good, and definitely one I would include as well. Now, one thing just to go back and just cycle back a little bit in terms of invention and machines is you can only use so much energy which your generator creates, and when you get to the bigger generator, you then get more energy. So sometimes you only have, depending on which sort of machines you've picked, enough to do 5, or sometimes you can do 6, or sometimes you can do 4. It really depends which one you've got. Now, ones I've had in my invention area for the longest time have been the Alchemizers. So the Alchemizers, the reason I go for these is just because, plain and simple, it's just such an easy way to make some money. I generally go and fletch some onyx bolts every couple of weeks and basically use that to stock up my auto alchers because it just means I can make a little bit more money on top. And simply, for just doing a little bit of fletching and buying some nature runes, I can make quite consistent profit from this as well. Now, depending on what you put into Alch, depends on what you're going to get. But at the minute, the Onyx Bolts and the Onyx Bolts E are some of the best ones to kind of work with as well. To do the full Alchemize, it's going to be roughly 8 days, 8 hours, to which you're going to make about 5 to 6 mil. But you got to think as well, all you literally need to do is to buy or make the components, get the nature runes and throw them in, and then you make GP from the end of it. And for me, this is a great way to hide GP on my account. Basically what I keep doing is just going buy the supplies, fletch the supplies, and then just leave them here and just keep building the cash stack up. And then whenever I reach sort of like the max cash stack, that's when I'll withdraw. And then all of a sudden, because I've got 2, I've currently got a couple of bill just sat there, which I've found over time just by using the auto alchemy. Now, the other 2 machines I've got are the auto disassemblers, and the reason why I've got these is because I like using the plant bomb vials on my herb patches just so I can loot them very quick, but I like to make it myself so I don't have to like sort of spend 100k to go and do them. So I have 2 auto disassemblers basically disassembling body runes for magic components. Now, these are really good for making simple parts. So if you're going to do auto disassemblers, like getting things like maple logs and turning them into simple parts is a really good way to make some GP because you then turn those simple parts into the divine energies, into the empty divine charges, which is very good. So when we said like the alchemy was going to be 5.6 mil, the auto disassembler is going to be 4.1. So again, really, really good. And the fact is that the maple logs are going to cost you considerably less to get a decent stack of, and you just throw them in, forget about them, and then you return after a week just to top them all back up. So the disassemblers definitely have a place in there. You can definitely access this at level like 81. which means you can make some decent GP from your machines. It's a relatively low level for how quick you can level Invention up. Now, the two ones which I have missed off are possibly also ones which are very, very good. So we've missed off the hide tanner because I don't have it here, but at the minute, tanning hides is incredible profit. Like, I've done a couple of videos now about how tanning certain hides can make you upwards of 15 mil GP per hour. The prices of like tanned leather is definitely going up as crafting seems to become more and more expensive by the week. Now, what I would do and what I would suggest is for you guys to heavily check out the margins of which ones are performing best in terms of which one's selling for more GP for the tanned hide, because whichever choice you pick, that's going to sort of determine how much GP you're going to make. It's really easy to work out roughly what GP you're going to make per hour. It's just to check the price of the dragon hide and then also the tan leather afterwards. But again, that can be one nowadays with some of the prices of a dragon hide. It can be very, very cheap to find enough to stock your machine up, because most of the sort of dragon hides now aren't really past 2,000 coins. It's only really royal dragon hide, which is slightly past that, and even then, not by too much. However, the most underrated one going forward, in my opinion, is going to be the plank maker. Now, we have got a couple months until 120 construction is going to come out, and there's going to be a massive demand on planks, refined planks, and frames. Now, in terms of planks, we still are in an era where the brand new planks, the things like Willow, Maple, Acacia, Yew, Magic, and Elder, aren't really in the game in the kind of quantities which are going to be expected and needed to sort of fill people's expectations of how many frames they need to go and level their construction up. So because of that, the price of most sort of planks is starting to go up quite aggressively over the past couple of weeks, and I anticipate over the next couple of months as well, because people want to train their construction through the Fort Free upgrades, and because of that, people need the planks to then make the refined planks and then make the frames. So this could be an exceptional way to make some GP. Now, one thing I would say as well, don't just think that you need to do the Elder. I've done a bit of price checking, a bit of playing around. It seems that Yew and Magic are incredible profits as well. And because of that, very similar to the disassembling of maple logs, you can buy quite a big amount of logs to put in your plank makers at a relatively low GP cost, and you can make money with it. I, for the longest time, was cycling through Elder logs and turning them into planks, and just because there was a period of time where it was highly, highly profitable, I was making something like 3k per plank, and because of that, you can make some profit without actually having to like really play or do anything in the game. You got to think as well, like when I've mentioned like 5 mil per week, that's just for one machine. If you can get your machine set up correctly and get the most value out of your energy provided by your generator, you could easily have 5 to 6 machines running at once, and especially if they're focused on things like plank making or hide tanning or any really, like all machines are going to make you some considerable profit. You can really start racking the GP up. Now, what I would suggest is that the wiki is a fantastic source to go through all of these and to find out which items are the best. There's certain items which are better to alch, but what you need to do is do your research beforehand, check the Grand Exchange, check the margins, check the prices to make sure they're correct. But if you're not doing invention machines already, you are missing out on some of the easiest cash you can get in Runescape currently. All you literally need to do is to build your machines and get them set up with the raw resources they need, and you just simply leave them for a week, and then you come back, collect your cash, put more items in, and then you go back off and play the game for 7 days and you recycle from there. You can make so much cash from this, and I've probably made billions over the past couple of years just by keeping these machines topped up. They're probably something I do once every week, 2 weeks, spend a little bit of cash, literally spend 5 minutes of my time, and then they're making cash behind as well. This is the true form of AFK money making. It's always earning for you, they're always moving, providing there's energy in your generators and resources in your machines as well. However, if you wanted me to sort of suggest which ones I would target going forward, I do think that the plank making one is going to be exceptional going forward. The potion one always works and it's always up there as well. The crafting one can be good depending on where the hide prices are and what the levels is. And then the alka is good if you can get a decent supply. For me, I like it because it encourages me to go and do some fletching. And because I'm going to make extra resources, it's just going to be more profit for me. But put it towards what your account needs, whether it's profit and stuff, work out which ones are the best. I personally think that if you have a look at some of the plank prices compared to the log price, you really will notice that there's a lot of GP there in a minute. But tailor it to what you want. If you want it to make your own herbal or unfinished potions, do that. If you have a lot of items in your bank you want to alch, make an alka. Or if you want to go and get some invention components rather than you disassembling yourself, the auto disassemblers are so handy for that. That's the reason I've got all my components to make the herbal patch bomb vial. But that's going to wrap up invention machines. Obviously, if these sort of really spike up, which I do think that the construction and the plank ones could in the future, We will revisit this at a later date, but I hope it just gives you guys a bit of an insight of just how good this can be. And Invention really is one of those skills which just provides so much to it. And Invention machines really are something I don't think gets enough coverage and enough sort of notice on as well. However, going to wrap the video up. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you use your machines for? Is there a certain one you prefer? How much GP does it roughly make you every week? Let us know in the comment section below. Let's get discussion started and try and help out as many people as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.